taught leadership. The earliest example I can remember of being taught and also given a leadership position is when teachers would assign the best behaved students to be the line leader. Every single kid in the classroom looked forward to being the line leader because it was a cool place to be. It's funny how desired leadership is from even at a young age. We are taught at this age about leaders in big positions such as the president, principals, teachers, lawyers, governors, etc. It's critical that we learn at a young age what it is to be a leader and what it takes to be a leader. But as we grow, we learn that leadership is more than just being a leader. There are so many other characteristics that a person must embody to be considered a good leader. I can't help but ask myself, are we taught what makes a good leader? I asked a group of friends what leadership means to them and if they thought they were a good leader. And this is what I got.
What does leadership mean to me? I would say leadership means that it's someone that is in charge of a group that is trying to help the group achieve its goal, as it could be a class project, a study group, or even in a business setting, just trying to achieve that goal for that certain group. And if it's within a business setting, then I would say to meet the standards of that business.
Hearing these responses made me realize that we are all not taught exactly what it takes to embody true leadership characteristics. Yes, we all may know the basic attributes you need to be looked up to, but what does it take to be a great leader in the workplace? First, let's define leadership. It is the action of leading a group of people or an organization. Now, some synonyms to point out here are guidance, direction, and management. In an article by Marcel Schwantes, he outlines the 5 characteristics of real leadership, according to 2 of history's greatest leaders. I'm going to ask you to think back to a time when you were in a leadership role. Did you embody the following characteristics? First, Marcel talks about authentic leaders having strong values about the right thing to do. He talks about how many founders start their businesses to serve a higher purpose. They operate through conscious capitalism, whereby decisions are guided by their personal and organizational values, some of which are non-negotiable. They know how to stand their ground. It truly takes strong values not to be corrupted, as it does with being an entrepreneur or a leader. The next point he makes is authentic leaders show consistent integrity across all spheres of life. Neither of these leaders could be bribed or corrupted. They exhibited unwavering integrity right until the end and made big sacrifices many leaders find so difficult to make these days. Next, he says authentic leaders exercise self-discipline. We always hear leaders lead by example, but he says authentic leadership is leading by example. Everything the leader does or says matters. And for these 2 leaders, that meant a tight control over their emotions. Authentic leaders are willing to pay the price. As business leaders, we are often approached by offers and partnerships that don't serve us well and often jeopardize our mission. Lastly, he talks about how authentic leaders establish meaningful relationships with followers. There's no question that effective leadership comes with great relationships. This is something every leader should embody, as leadership is often found with friendship. 5 questions to ask. Now reflect on a past leadership experience you've had. Assess whether authentic leadership is a style that suits you. Do others generally regard you as a person of high integrity, or is this not one of the traits that come to mind first when they think about you? Are you comfortable leading by example, covering all spheres of your life? In other words, what is your public persona aligned with or different from your private persona? Do you have a tight grip on your emotions? Do you have a strong, long-term guiding purpose in your professional life that supersedes self-interest for which you are willing to pay a high price if required. And lastly, how are your relationship building skills? After reviewing these characteristics, ask yourself, do you think you're a good leader? The good news is anyone can learn to be a better leader, all thanks to this article by Monique Valcourt. She talks about the steps anyone can take to become a better leader. She starts off by saying, occupying a leadership position is not the same as leading. To lead, you must be able to connect, motivate, and inspire a sense of ownership of shared objectives. Heightening your capacity to lead others requires you being able to see how you think, act, and how your behaviors affect others. Now, leadership is a continuous journey of personal development. It doesn't just happen overnight. Therefore, she starts with having you start with a problem you'd like to solve or a future result you'd like to achieve. Now, what outcome would make a meaningful difference for you? Next, try to understand why that goal is important to you. This helps you get a clear understanding of your purpose and motivation, increasing the creativity and persistence you apply to designing and sustaining your practices. Next, you need to identify how you're going to measure your success. You can help yourself reach your own goals by grounding yourself with an intention. This is where you need to commit your learning to support proactive behaviors. An example of this could be placing a sticky note on your computer reminding you to do this every morning. Now choose which behaviors you want to implement. Some examples could be sharing your experience, asking the right questions, putting yourself in somebody else's shoes, and acknowledging achievements. After all of these steps have been taken, seek feedback from another team member or another leader. Then consider a timeline to review and celebrate your leadership progress.